Hello there, how are we doing today? Title of the book, I Won, No, I Won. No, I Won. It's a Charlie and Lola story. I have this little sister Lola. She's small and very funny. Sometimes we play who can sit still the longest. Lola always have to win. Last time we played, Lola said, I won. But I say, I didn't even move. Lola says, yes, you did. I won. I always win. Always, always, always. And then she says, I could even beat a speedy cheetah in a running race. And I can stand on one leg longer than a flamingo. And I can bounce higher than a bouncy kangaroo, Charlie. See? And I can drink my pink milk much faster than you. I say, but do you have to win at everything, Lola? And Lola says, yep, I won. So I say, how about a game of spoons? Because you see, I know I'm better at the spoons game. But even so, Lola says, I'm winning. I say, no, you're not. She says, I am. I say, not. And then Lola says, ooh, Charlie, what's that? I look off to the side, and then when I look back at Lola, her spoon has definitely moved. I say, Lola, have you cheated? But Lola says, Charlie, I won. So then I say, Lola, you remember how to play snap, don't you? You need two cards that look the same. Then it's a snap. Lola says, yes, two cards that look exactly the same. Then it's a snap. So I say 5, 7, ace, 9, king, snap. I say, but they have to be the same, and a queen is not a king. Lola says, but queens are married to kings, and they both wear crowns, and they live in castles. So, snap, I won. Want to play again, Charlie? So then I say, how about a game of snakes and ladders? You go up the ladders and down the snakes. The one who gets to the top first is the winner. Do you understand? Lola says, I do understand. Yes, Charlie. I roll first and I shout, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And up the ladder. Then it's Lola's turn and she shouts, that's a 3. Snake. I say, Lola, what are you doing? Snakes are for sliding down. It's the rules, Lola says. But Charlie, everyone knows snakes aren't all slippery and slidey. They're easy to climb and I'm winning. Luckily, I get another 6, which means up a ladder. But Lola says, aha, Dad says you're not allowed to climb a ladder. Not until you're 23. I say, uh-huh, up the ladders and down the snakes. That's the rules. So Lola shakes the dice and says 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snake. I say, bad luck. Now you've got to slide down all the way to the bottom. I won. But guess what? Lola pretends she's a snake charmer and she charms the snake to the finish. I say, but that's cheating, Lola. And she says, no, I won. So I think of something that Lola could never, never win. When we go to the park, I say, how about a race? It's once round the bendy tree. Then 2 big swings on the swing, down the slide, and first one back to the bench is the winner. Okay? Lola says, but I'm only little, Charlie. I haven't been on the big slide yet. And I say, well, if you don't want to win the race, Lola. Lola says, ready, steady, go. But of course, I catch up. I say, that's once round the bendy tree. Then I say, and guess what? I'm actually winning. And that's two big swings on the swing. But then Lola calls, Charlie, can you help me? And even though I'm actually winning, I say, all right, Lola, I'm coming. Hold on. We whoosh down the slide together. Lola says, wee, I'm winning. I say, not for long. Then I say, and the winner is me. I won, I won. Then I remember Dad saying, Charlie, you must give Lola a chance because she's so small. And I say, are you all right, Lola? And do you know what Lola says? She says, that was fun. And I say, even though I won? Lola says, Charlie, you don't have to win all the time. At bedtime, I say, are you asleep yet, Lola? And Lola says, yes. So I say, how can you be asleep if you are talking to me? She says, I'm sleep talking. I say, the first one to fall asleep is the real winner. And Lola says, okay, the first one to fall asleep is the real winner. And then Lola whispers, Charlie, I won. And I say, no, I won. I won. No, I won. I won. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. See you in another book. Bye bye.